Okay, I'm ready to shoot the moon. It's the 22nd of March. It's 1 o'clock. And I'm going to try to get the full moon, see what's going on. Let me just adjust the camera. Wow, look at all those orbs. Okay, you see it's doing the same thing as the star. Just shooting them out, and the others are trying to go in and recharge. See that? Okay, that's everywhere. Doesn't matter what side you go on. It's the same. Yeah, up here too. If I can get it down enough yet. That side. This side over here. Everywhere. Space is full of orbs. Doesn't matter if it's the moon or star. Okay, I gotta hold it because it keeps moving. Yeah, I have a filter on because it's so bright. But I want you to see where all the big clusters are. Okay, you can really see them. You can see that the arrangement is different every night. The whole thing is different. If this was land, okay, it's March 22nd, it's 1:15. I started in with a filter, and for some reason my camera got shut off even though it's an electric power. And I wanted to show you with a filter. See the moon moving? Okay, but what I wanted to show you was not just that the moon moves back and forth all over the place, because I've shown that many times before, is where the orb clusters are, the active and the inactive ones. Let me just adjust that a little bit. Okay, so every night this whole picture is different. The orb piles there, those are all clusters at different frequency rates, and I'm talking about vibration frequencies. Okay, so the blacker parts, since this is going to be a star, those are going to be sunspots. Okay, when that becomes a star, you know, like our sun has sunspots, that's the kind of thing that makes them. And this is like more sunspots than the sun now because it's still not a fully formed star. And it's just like in a baby stage. But when the star becomes mature and you know, larger, some of these will disappear. They'll become more active, like those white parts there, okay, that are bright. You see them? Okay, and you see the white parts? More of these black ones will become like that, and it'll activate itself more and more. So there'll be less sunspots, but they'll go deeper into the star. In this case, our moon, which will, be a star one day. Hold on, I gotta get it. Okay, you see all these orbs? Okay, they're being shot out. Okay. See how many that is? Hold on. With the camera. Okay. Okay. So, everywhere you go, I'm too close to see them. Back off. Okay. Okay, my filter's too dark. I changed it a little bit. And the other one was too light, and this one is too dark to show them. I'll have to go back to normal, no filter, to show them. But anyway, you see where all the white orb clusters are? They're more active than the black ones. Okay, and they're at a different vibrations frequency, different orb velocity, both around whatever axis they're turning around, okay, in those large orbs, and also in their spin on their axes, and all that pink part, that's really white. Okay, you see, but because of the filter it shows in pink, because I put a darker filter on so I can show these things where they are. Because when it's full moon it's very bright, and you need a filter like this to block that light. Okay, it's easier to do with the camera than it is to redo it and where you adjust the video to its proper natural colors on a movie maker, because it takes like 3 days to make a movie like that, and the last one took 3 weeks because of all the interruptions and privacy issues that came over, and it's just terrible, unbelievable, unprecedented actually. The privacy concerns that I have regarding how many people got into my computer and went through the whole thing. I even have security myself, but it didn't seem to matter. Whoever was doing it, either knew how very well or had a supercomputer or a bunch of them doing it, because there was no way I could stop it. So I'm just gonna not worry about it. I'm still gonna make videos and that's it, because these are the facts. These things aren't gonna change. Okay, you can see that there are orb clusters all over. Okay, they're in layers. There must be billions of layers. Okay, that's why this is a multidimensional space. Each layer has a different vibrations frequency, different velocity of orbs going around their nuclei, different velocity on the spin of their axes, but all together they work very well, all combined to make that nucleus a possibility and to make it a powerhouse for the parent orb cluster. I want to show it. It's right here. Okay, it's all around. You see the size of the orbs? They're very large. We're talking like a few 100 kilometers each. This is not peanuts, but they come in all sizes. Like I was saying before, there's so many of them. And see, even there you can see they're not all the same size. You know, there's big ones, there's little ones, there's super large ones. There's all kinds. See? You can't get them too close to the moon because, the moon hologram orb cluster nucleus, because it's too bright and it drowns out the things in the dark. The brightness just overwhelms it. But that's why I can move a little farther away, and then you can see them in space. See? Watch. I'll try to show you. You see the little ones? Okay? But those little ones are 100 kilometers. And you see how much faster they go? Okay? They don't all go at the same rate. You see that? Yeah. Trying to get the right angle. It's always the right angle that matters. Okay, because you don't need a spotlight or anything. Nature is wonderful. Okay, you have to know how to read the angle, and you have to know how to manage light. Okay, and this is good management of natural light, even with a filter. Okay, and it's not easy to do, but once you know how, it becomes second nature. That's why I'm saying everyone can do it. It's not something that's just something I can do. I'm not bragging about it. Here they are. Okay, now you see them leaving the surface? Yeah, you can see it right here. See that? Okay, so they're shooting out and then going into a counterclockwise spin in the big cluster. And I'm talking about the parent cluster. But you see all the charged ones, the yellow ones there? The light greens, the yellows, and the whites? They're charged up. And they go and charge up the rest of the cluster. So that's why when you go up here, okay, you can see them all in color. And that's their natural color. Now I'm far away from it. Okay? And that's everywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. I'm at hardly any zoom right now. That's why they look small, but look, when you come closer, they're not small. Okay, there's some smaller ones than others, but none of them are under 100 kilometers in diameter. None of them. And you see how some of them go fast? You can see just like a streak or a line. Okay, so they can travel faster than light. The speed of light, I mean. And that's a crucial thing to remember, because they are energy organisms and they start out as light. Look at them. Hey, is that light or what? This is pure energy. And it's electromagnetic energy. It's not nuclear. Okay? But it's more powerful than nuclear energy. Look at this one down here. That's a real powerhouse, that cluster. Okay. Excuse me. Don't forget you're looking at all this through a filter, which is pretty dark. But it's so bright that it doesn't matter. Oops, sorry I moved it too far. I'm holding the camera because the moon hologram orb cluster nucleus is so high up at this time that it's too high for the stand. So I'm holding the camera and I'm trying to hold it steady. You can see that there's a lot of white and active, highly active orb clusters. Look at that one. You see the energy coming off of it? Okay, that's how it charges up those darker ones. It just spreads the energy right through. And that's coming like right down from the center. You know, the whole thing is all charged up. The entire hologram. Okay, so these will charge up after a while, even though they're darker. You see they're starting to charge up right there already. Okay, but you can see that the energy is being spread because it's still not at its peak, even though it's, after 1 a.m. There's no time for this. It can happen in the middle of the day. Okay, this doesn't just happen at night. These cycles take place all the time. You see how bright that one is? Now that little one there that's bright is going to charge up that whole brown part. And it's starting to, you can see the orbs really spinning faster and faster. See, this entire part is already charged up, and that didn't take that long. It was dark before. This was the dark part before. You see now? You see how the energy is spreading? The pink thing is the spreading energy from the white power sources, which are the active clusters tonight, to these dark ones. And you can see that there's more and more white orbs in them. And soon, when it reaches the zenith, it'll be, mostly white orb clusters that are active. You see how there's more and more of them just popping up as the energy increases and the vibration frequency becomes higher, and the velocity of the orbs becomes higher, and the spin on their axes gets faster. And you see there was no white orb right there before, and now that's going to charge up that whole area because it's so active. You see the pink? The energy is just spreading and spreading. I just want to see something. I can see that line going to the earth. Yeah, there's clouds. Anyway, I can shoot through clouds with this camera. They make no difference in terms of, whether they're there or not. I can see through clouds. I don't even need a camera for that. Anyway, okay, I can't see it. I can't show the line. I can see it myself, but I can't show it with this kind of a filter. Okay, but there's the energy of the moon hologram in a nutshell. Okay, so it's just a mass of energy, nothing else. There's no solid ground, there's no water, there's no rocks, there's no mountains, there's nothing. This is it. Okay, the only thing that's on there are all those orbs. Okay. You see the spread? I'll watch when I come closer. You see how many more like energy spots. Look at this part. It was dark before, and now you see that orb, how big it got? And this one over here, you can't even see it, it's so bright. And I'm using a filter. See all the white orbs there, and the pink part? That's the energy. You see them, how they pulse? Okay, that's the way they spread the energy. You see the pulsing? Okay, the temperature there is just like on a star. Maybe not as much as a star, but it's pretty close. And I don't know anyone who could walk on that, land on that, and I know they can't play golf on that. So that whole thing was a sham. It was the biggest lie ever told in man's history, that there was a moon landing. It's incredible that the whole world fell for it, but that was the biggest lie ever. Because there just wasn't one, and it's not possible to have one. There will never be one. Never. This is the beginnings of the end right here for our planet. If nothing else destroys it, this thing will for sure. It's going to be a star. No doubt about it. It's just getting brighter, stronger, bigger, more energy. It just exponentially increasing in power. And if anybody says different, they're a liar. Because it's obvious. I mean, look at all that pulsing. And these black parts, that's how sunspots, that's how they're made. And they're necessary so that they cause frequency imbalance and electromagnetic imbalance, where you're going to have a positive and a negative conflict of energy, like negative charge and a positive charge, so that it can have, constant upheaval to create energy. Because you need the conflict to create energy. You can't have just one charge, you have to have both. So the black parts there, or brown, whatever color you want to think that they are. Remember, this is with a filter. Okay. They're going to be the sunspots when that becomes a star. But not as much as they are now, because more will be activated and there'll only be parts of them left. But those parts will go right through the whole thing, the entire cluster, and they'll have like veins. I showed a video where you saw the orb shooting arcs. I think I made 3 or 4 of those. Well, that's how the spots there, or the sunspots, that's how they work. They shoot arcs through the cluster, and it's one type of charge, and then the rest of them that are active, they have a different charge. So the conflict in the charges creates more energy. The more conflict, the more energy. And both are necessary to create all that energy. And the energy is electromagnetic. It is not nuclear. Okay, Nikola Tesla correctly understood that the energy that drives the universe is electromagnetism. Okay, it's not nuclear energy. It's electromagnetism. So, the point of this video is to show you how the energy spreads like that. And you're seeing it with a filter. You see the pulsing there. I'll show it to you somewhere else where it's more obvious, right here. Okay. And these are all true facts. I mean, I don't know anyone who can contest them. And this was either hidden from us, or people just didn't understand it. So, or they didn't even look for it, actually. I believe they didn't even bother looking for it. And especially like out here. They said it was a void. Look at all this life. There's more life in that one spot than on the entire planet Earth. I mean, let's get serious here. Let's not be silly. Okay, I'll show you some life in space. Look, they're all alive and very smart. Okay, they're super intelligent, and I mean it, super intelligent. They come in all sizes, exist in all different levels, large, small, smaller than small, subatomic, larger than stars, you name it, they're there. And they're I believe they created the universe. They create the Big Bang, restart, make it again, blow it up when the population exceeds a certain amount, when the energy can't support them, and then start over. And that's a cycle. And they just keep going through the cycles, one after the other. The cycles take a long time, but to them, they don't exist in time. They don't, worry about it. Because there's so many of them, who cares about time when you have so many of them and they're reproducing so much. I don't know exactly how they reproduce. They reproduce in a number of ways. They can reproduce natural reproduction. They can clone themselves. They can have something similar to cell division. And in that video, the beings of light that I had, you see the first two orbs, first one orb and then two, and then four and then six, or 4 and 8, I can't remember the numbers, or I should say I can't recall the numbers, I know they are. That was the story of Adam and Eve. That was the true story of Adam and Eve. It was about them. And, just because it's in the Bible, it doesn't mean that it wasn't about them. But that was the real story of Adam and Eve. That was after the Big Bang. They got thrown out of bliss, which was all that energy and the light. And they were the survivors that got thrown out into just blackness, of nothing. And they had to start over. So that's the story of Adam and Eve. My video made in 2010 or beginning of 2011, I can't remember. Anyway, it was called The Beings of Light. Something like One Enlightened Man's View of the Universe or something like that. You'll find it. There's two videos, one with a double camera, two cameras I mean, and one with just one. Watch the one when I used two cameras that same night, because in one of them there's a wheel, and it's a wheel within the wheel, and it's orbs in that wheel, and I have it passing right over, just the way it did, very slowly and deliberately right over me. And I was only using a camera with 20x normal zoom. It didn't have a digital zoom or anything. So in that video you can see a wheel within the wheel. That's also in the Bible. You should check it out. The one with the first camera and the second camera, and it's called The Beings of Light. Okay, so anyway, I showed you the moon, I showed you how the energy works, how the transfer of energy occurs, how the clusters that are active light up clusters that are inactive, and energize them. And I told you that the moon will be a star, and that the black spots on the moon now will be the sunspots on it when it's a star, because you need the positive and the negative charge to create electromagnetic energy. So that's it. Look at all this life. Does that look like space is a void? I mean, be serious and think for yourself.